Let's talk about the peace process, which is the most important issue in our country. That's why Aung San Suu Kyi and her government also has focused on the achieving the peace since they took the office. You visited the Kachin state recently, and you met a chief minister of the Kachin state, and you also met a commander of the Northern Command, Brigadier General Nyi Swe, and you met other people as well. So, what is the main obstacle for our country to achieve the peace?
Well, that's a good question. I guess what I would say is short term. Because the whole peace process, as I think everybody knows, is going to take a long time. There's the immediate goal of ending the actual fighting on the ground, which is hugely important, and then the longer goal of having a political dialogue that results in a federal system that people can all feel comfortable with. So I would say the main obstacle to both is a lack of trust, based on too many years of conflict. And people on different sides not having faith that the other side is committed to peace or will fulfill their commitments. So in that sense, I think first we've urged all parties right now to end the fighting. There's a lot of suffering going on, and this ongoing fighting, intense fighting in Kachin and northern Shan State is really a threat to peace long term. Shouldn't be in the interest of anyone or any institutions in this country. But then second, it's going to take a long time, a lot of dialogue, people on different sides all reaching out, taking a little bit of risk to reach out and try to build up that trust. I think people know that. It's easy to say, it's harder to do. But what we're doing as a friend and a country that cares a lot about supporting peace here, we're urging everybody involved, take that extra step to talk, stop the fighting, participate in the process. Again, we're very careful not to tell different groups you should sign the NCA or not, but everybody should be trying to take an extra step toward peace, particularly right now.
I want to know the U.S. role and in the peace process, the international community, especially the United States, which role they can play and to immediately to help halt the ongoing war, to be able to bid at the peace.
Yeah. First, I would say we fully respect that this is the Myanmar peace process, and so we're always very careful not to interfere. But not interfering doesn't mean we can't play a helpful role. And I think, I'll just speak for my government, but I think many governments are trying to do similar things. There's sort of two ways in which I think we can help, in which we're trying to help. One, as a friend, our interest is only in peace. So we don't have a separate agenda other than promoting peace, and I think most people recognize that. So as a friend, we talk to the different groups. We talk to the military, the civilian authorities, we talk to the ethnic armed groups, civil society participants, and urge them to keep working toward peace. Sometimes people get very frustrated, and we're trying to say, please, you have to think of the long-term interest. What about this? Sometimes we offer suggestions about ways to build trust, those sorts of things. So I think that's one role we play. The other role we play is quite different. It's more on the technical side, because I think there's broad agreement that peace over time is going to require lengthy dialogue on a federal union. We're doing some seminars and programs to help people understand better what federalism means, what some of the issues are that will need to be addressed. Again, not to say you should follow this system or that, but here's some of the things that would be helpful to understand as you go into that dialogue. So we're doing that as well.
There is also another international key player in the peace process, which is China. China is our big neighboring country, and which has a lot of influence on the Burma's the governments in the past as well. So when you approach this peace process, is there any conflicting policies or ideas between especially two countries, United States and China?
Well, I can't speak for the Chinese government. What I can say from our government, we don't view the peace process as in any way a U.S.-China issue. As I said, our hope, we'll be very happy if there's peace. That's our sole focus when it comes to the peace process. I have had many discussions with my colleague, the Chinese ambassador. We've talked very openly about that and have agreed on the importance of working for peace. Again, I don't want to speak for him or his government, but we have quite regular conversations in support of the peace process.
There is still a restriction in terms of providing the humanitarian aid to the refugees, especially in the Kachin state. Do you know who is blocking it?
I don't know for sure, but it's a big concern. There are tens of thousands of internally displaced people, and there are significant restrictions on humanitarian access to them, which is very concerning. There really needs to be greater access to these people, both in government-controlled areas and in KIA-controlled areas. So we have raised this, I have raised this with the military, the civilian authorities, and others multiple times. It's a big concern because a lot of civilians are suffering. So we strongly urge everybody involved to find a way to allow assistance to reach these people.